Hello, Jasen Rice here. Lotpop want to do another Lotparty Quick Tip. You know what? I'm going to mention Lotparty here. I'm surprised. I was at I think North Dakota, speaking there, asking them how many are use the term Lotparty, and they used another term. I forgot what they called it. But I'm surprised. I'm from the Midwest, St. Louis. Did my car career in St. Louis, 8 years. And lot party was what we called it, when we got everybody out on the lot to move things around, paged everybody to the showroom floor to go move the inventory around, spicing things up, try to draw some attention to our lot. And so we talk a lot about the virtual lot, what's going on in the virtual inventory and leads. So again, that's why I call it lot party. But I wanted to go over a few things, couple trends that we're seeing. First one's not so much a trend, talking about cheaper cars, but it is an issue that I see a lot of times. I was in a meeting call this morning, was doing some price changes on smaller dollar cars, meaning 5, 7, 8 grand, 10 grand, 12 grand trucks, cheaper cars. And a lot of times we're not in a hurry on those cars because, again, and rightfully so, we might go, it's just a 5 grand car, let's keep it there. But because, again, we're not going to be able to take that 5 grand and go recoup it and go buy another item at the lane. So it's not like we need to get off that money quick. If it's a 20 grand car, we want to move that 20 grand as fast as possible, sell it, go back, maybe buy another car. It's 20 grand and so forth. So a lot of the cheaper stuff, the 5, 7 grand, 8 grand, a lot of times we end up holding out on those things because, again, those are cars that are hard to duplicate. And again, I can't take those 5, 8 grand dollars and go to the auction and replace that vehicle, at least for anything better, or the same or better. So, but here's the problem with them and where they can cause issues. As we pass on those cars here and there and not adjust them sooner than later, next thing you know, we have a batch of these cars that are older on our lot. We have, 45, 60, 90-day-old 5 grand cars. And I've seen this at a lot of dealerships where they have, if you just had 10 5 grand cars, that's $50,000 sitting there. And that's a lot of money. So as a clump, as those cheaper cars, if you got a clump of them, if they bleed through, analogy would be, I go to Walmart all the time and I don't leave that store without spending at least $80. I don't go there all the time, but every time I go, it's at least $80, if not 100 or two. Because what happens is I'm like, it's only $5. Oh, it's only $2. Oh, it's only $10. And as I'm going through, I'm buying, it's only $5. Throw it in there. The kids, hey, can I have this? And it's $3. Go ahead. Next thing you know, you went in for 1 or 2 items and you're leaving with 20 and you got a $120 bill leaving the store. And that's the cheap cars. It's only 5 grand. It's only 8 grand. It's only 10 grand. And next thing you know, I've got 80 grand sitting in my age inventory tied up in smaller dollar units that 80 grand could be moved to, a lot better inventory. And so keep an eye on those cheaper cars. I know they're usually strong around tax season or around school or graduation times, but keep an eye on those cars. Don't hold out too long. Now, the other trend we're starting to see, I seen it this morning with the store. I had another one of our guys in meeting calls talking about it to me, is higher mile stuff, higher dollar and higher miles. Again, on my call, I seen our dealers carrying more 25 grand cars, but I also noticed that, and one of the trends we look at is what I call miley cars. Anything over 18,000 miles a year is miley. Just because a car has 100,000 miles don't mean it's a risk car, because it has 100,000 miles and it's 10, 12 years old, it's not really miley. Only had 10,000 miles a year or whatever, or 12,000 miles a year. So anything over, one of the trends we're looking at, anything over 18,000 miles a year that is older than 30 days old, that we have priced higher than 95%. So by day 30, I usually want to be on average around 95%. Means average in that clump of cars around that 30-day window, 25 to 40-day-old cars, typically want to be around 95% on average. It means I'll still have some 93s, 98s, but I'll have some 90s and 93s in there. And I think a miley car, 18,000 miles or higher, after 30 days should be at least 95% or less. And this dealer had a big uptick from 6 of them like a week ago to 20 something up this week. So I seen that trend. One of my reps seeing those trends. We're starting to see miley stuff and even higher dollar stuff like 20 grand cars with 150,000 miles on them. Now it might be a truck, it might be a diesel, it might be a premium car, but you know, how many people want to have a $400-500 car payment on a 150,000 mile car? On top of that, how many of them can get approved for that kind of car? So, you know, we're starting to see milier, more miles on cars, and then the higher dollar aspect of it makes it a bigger challenge. So if we're seeing it in some of our lots, I did a post earlier today where, you know, our guys do 5,000 price changes a week. We've got about 5 of us doing calls, and each call we do on average is probably about 50 price changes. So you take 50 price changes by 5 people 4 times a week, you know, throughout the week, we're going to be doing thousands of price changes with our dealers, over probably 5,000 price changes. We start seeing trends like this, trends of all of a sudden we get a lot of miley stuff, Yukons, Tahoes, Escalades, 2,500 trucks, or F250s, and 3,500s, or F350s, and higher dollar stuff. And those higher dollar with higher miles is tough, because again, you're talking $400 or $500 payments on cars that have over 100,000 miles or 20,000 miles per year type stuff. Those are stuff you're going to want to, you know, make sure you're moving real well too. So if we're seeing them on our lot, on the lots that we deal with, I'm sure you might be having them on your lot. Just a warning for you to maybe get off of those cars, because it's a trend that we're starting to see now too. So as I say, I hope this was helpful. If you do want an inventory evaluation, just go to lotpop.com for your inventory evaluation. As a little pitch here, we came up with a stocking tool that does historical data. We're going to give you year, make, model trims on, and we score it out to the best performing historically, what's been selling off your lot. Some of the systems don't have too much of historical data, and if they do, it's very hard to find or sort, and basically take this historical data, year, make, model trim cars, copy and paste it into your systems like your vAutos or your Max Digitals or First Looks, and compare it to the market data and everything else, and see if it's something that you want to add. So non-clients can have access to our lot stock tool. So if you want a free inventory evaluation, see our lot stock tool, www.lotpop.com, 844-LOTPOP, 844-LOTPOP4, or just email me at jrice.com. Oh, I will be at the Driving Sales Executive Summit. I'm going to be going there. I'm excited about that. 2 reasons. I'm going to do the RIDE DSES, which is the RIDE Digital Summit, Executive Summit with Gary May, and a bunch of pro riders and a bunch of vendor partners here. We're going to do it in the morning, pre-up Sunday and Monday prior to the beginning of the conference. Excited about that. If you want a discount to get to that event, let me know. I can give you a discount code. Also in November, Used Car Week by Auto Remarketing, going to be attending that. And I have a code to get you in for free for the first block, which is a 3-day pre-owned conference. It's $1,000 to get in. I got a promo code to get you in for free for that. I really encourage your dealers, because we talk, you know, not just pre-owned, but recon and financing and things like that. So it's a strong used car conference. Hit me up and I can get you into that also, and hopefully see you there for my workshop. Thanks.